Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another in the series of Global Entrepreneurship Week 2020 events being held under the theme Ideate, Innovate, Activate, a charge that we're giving to all entrepreneurs in Jamaica as JBDC joins the rest of the world in acknowledging entrepreneurs throughout this very special week that we do every year, and we have been doing so for quite some time. GEW started globally in 2007, and JBDC has been engaged in this event for more than 5 years. It is always an exciting lineup, and this year is no less. This morning, we are here to do what JBDC does best, one of the things that JBDC does best. JBDC stands as a beacon among government entities that are able to continuously establish partnerships with those in the private and public sectors to get the job done. We are a small agency doing big things because we are able to forge mega partnerships every time, led by our Chief Executive Officer, who is to my immediate left, Miss Valerie Vieira, CD. This morning it is my pleasure to welcome all of you. Dr. the Honorable Norman Dunn, the newly minted State Minister in our parent ministry, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, or Chairman, Dr. William Lawrence. Some of us call him Bill. He is here with us, always ever so supportive. Our partners this morning, Mr. Kevin Hewitt, who is Caribbean Business Consultant, CIAL Dun Bradstreet. And to my very far left, representing the University College of the Commonwealth Caribbean, is Mr. Reginald Nugent, who is Director of UCC Business Development and Consulting Institute. Welcome to JBDC, sir. And also in the audience are other representatives from the UCC, as well as our Deputy CEO, Mr. Harold Davis, and a few other members of the JBDC and SBDC teams are sitting across from me that you're not able to see on camera. Again, welcome everyone. We are here this morning to sign two very significant partnerships, one between the JBDC and CIAL Dun Bradstreet, and another welcoming UCC to our growing SBDC Jamaica network. SBDC Jamaica has been busy in the last couple of years, having signed other institutions such as the Northern Caribbean University, the Caribbean Maritime University, RADA, Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, the University of Technology, the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, CASE, and now UCC. CIAL Dun Bradstreet is an international organization that has earned a reputation for nearly 200 years for providing solutions for entrepreneurs within the SME sector. Of note are their gold solutions, SME gold solutions, which are designed to do two things. One, increase visibility in local and overseas markets. Export is big on our agenda right now. And two, increasing and establishing credibility for businesses. They also have an enviable reputation for taking SMEs through times of crisis such as this one, pandemics, Great Depression, and others. So it is a significant partnership for us this morning, and we are looking forward to how CIAL Dun Bradstreet will work with us as we take our Jamaican entrepreneurs through perhaps the most difficult time of their business lives, the COVID-19 pandemic. And so without further ado, I am going to welcome our chairman, Dr. William Lawrence, to bring remarks.
Thank you so much, Ms. Campbell. Dr. Honorable Norman Dunn, Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Mr. Joe Cohen, Chief Revenue Officer, CIAL Dun Bradstreet, Mr. Reginald Nugent, Director, UCC Business Development and Consulting Institute, Ms. Valerie Vieira, CEO of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, Mr. Cavan Hewitt, Caribbean Business Consultant, CIAL Dun Bradstreet, Mr. Keith Locke, Chief Executive Officer, Spectrum Capital Partners Limited, and Mr. Harold Davis, Deputy CEO, JBDC. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a warm welcome. You know, the Board of Directors of the JBDC is very pleased with the progress that the organization has been making with much alacrity in the many months now that we have seen this awful COVID-19 pandemic. As you know, the country, like many others, have been hard hit. And our main driver of economic growth, the business sector, has had to grapple with many challenges. Indeed, as many of you will know, a number of surveys done suggest that at the lower end of the spectrum, the MSME sector, there is need for special help. And this is where the JBDC has always stepped up to the plate. And the Jamaica Business Development Corporation has always embraced important partnerships locally and overseas. So the board is very pleased, especially pleased, that this morning there is this very historic signing of two very important partnerships. Partnerships that will go a very long way in helping our constituents, primarily the MSME sector, to recover quickly and go forward. You know, I would be remiss in not saying that the JBDC could never have made the strides that it has made without the participation and the willingness of many stakeholders, including all present. So once again, I welcome you all to this historic event, and I'm sure this morning's proceedings will be very rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. And I will now hand over to our Minister, Dr. the Honorable Norman Dunn. It's a pleasure to have you once again.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Thanks for that introduction, and it's great to be here this morning as well. Our chairman, Dr. William Lawrence, Mr. Joe Cohen, Chief Revenue Officer, CIAL Dun Bradstreet, Mr. Reginald Nugent, Director, UCC Business Development and Consulting Institute, our own Ms. Vieira, Chief Executive Officer, JBDC, Cavan Hewitt, Caribbean Development Business Consultant, CIAL Dun Bradstreet, Mr. Keith Locke, Chief Executive Officer, Spectrum Capital Partners, Mr. Harold Davis, Deputy Executive Director, JBDC, specially invited guests, media, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'd just like to echo what was said before in terms of the partnership, and this is a great example and shows the continued development of JBDCs and their interest and involvement as far as the MSMEs are concerned generally. And who knows about partnership more than CIAL Dun Bradstreet? Because when you look at their history, you realize that this company in particular has evolved over time, some in terms of partnerships and some maybe in terms of just acquisition. Dun first, and of course with Bradstreet being their competitor. And so they know a bit about this, this area. So on this special occasion, we celebrate with the innovators, the job creators, those who have launched startups and have brought new ideas to reality, essentially moving from concept to market. Our ability to achieve the goal in government's growth agenda rests largely on the efforts and engines of our entrepreneurs. I must therefore congratulate Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, on the launch of Global Entrepreneurial Week 2020, running from November the 16th through 22nd under the theme Ideate, Innovate, and Activate. I'm happy to learn that today you'll also be launching a partnership between JBDC and Dun Bradstreet, a company that provides commercial data, analytics, and insight for businesses, headquarters in the United States of America, serving customers both in government and industries such as communication, technology, strategic financial services market. I must commend you on forging this partnership. And if you notice, I mean, it's Dun Bradstreet, so I'm happy that I'm also here as someone with that name, Dun. You know, when I was growing up, and I think when I was at pharmacy school, I actually met upon this term, this name, and I said, wow, Dun Bradstreet. So, of course, I felt very honored at that time to have the name because when I look at the history of this company, you know, it's good to be in that league, so to speak. So over the years, JBDC has positioned itself as a premier government agency for the sustainable development of entrepreneurs and business in Jamaica. You have continuously empowered our entrepreneurs by providing a suite of business support services aimed at developing and maintaining businesses that can advance economic growth and development, create wealth, and provide jobs for Jamaicans. And again, if you look at the history of this particular company, in 2017, 1.7 billion in revenue. So they know something about providing jobs. So ladies and gentlemen, in these challenging times, JBDC must remain focused on its mandate and actively engage in various industries in an effort to assist them in transforming into a post-COVID-19 era and identifying new ideas. Now is the time for our entrepreneurs to ideate, innovate, and activate. Again, I must pause to say that, again, I'm in good company because as an entrepreneur myself, we understand the importance of these terms, ideate, innovate, and activate. It is what makes us entrepreneurs. We see global entrepreneurship with more than just networking and building awareness. It also is about unleashing our creativity, exploiting new opportunities, solving problems, taking risks, learning about our failures and our successes, and charting a new course for the future. It is, ladies and gentlemen, about thinking big, making our mark in the Jamaican landscape, and making our mark in the world. Again, I remember when I started my first business, my first pharmacy, I had a grand idea. And even without knowing it, for some persons who know a little bit about me, I actually joined the Jamaica Defense Force just after leaving university. And when I was graduating, at a graduating ceremony, our captain or training major at the time, said something which I never forget because obviously I never knew. When he was speaking about me, because I graduated on top of the intake, and he said that at that time I had one pharmacy, Msme, and he said that his goal is to have the most pharmacies in Jamaica. I never had that goal, but it so happened that that's exactly what happened. So obviously he saw something in me which I never did at the time. So entrepreneurship represents the lifeblood of business and is an important driver of our economic growth and job creation. It allows for the establishment of innovative companies, opens up new markets, improves productivity, and creates wealth. An entrepreneur mindset expands the range of career options for young people in the context of the challenges that are posed by today's job market. Indeed, entrepreneurship, and particular micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, are the backbone of Jamaican economy and represents our most important source of new employment. So again, see, when I come to these things, it resonates so well with me because I've lived most of the life. And I remember again when I started the first business, I mean, I was renting the location. And I said to myself, if I want to stay here, then I must buy the location. And therefore, I saved every money that I had to buy it because I wanted to innovate. I wanted to create something that nobody had in Jamaica. And what I did, I created the first drive-through pharmacy in Jamaica. Not that it was innovative enough because it exists elsewhere in the world, but as far as Jamaica is concerned, the history book will repeat that I created the first drive-through pharmacy in Jamaica. So we should all try to innovate and adjust to the times. So Jamaica's growth agenda is the single most important priority of the government given the economic challenges facing large sections of our country during this new normal. The urgency to spur entrepreneurial activity, especially amongst our younger generation, and therefore it is important and an integral part in achieving the growth in a sustainable manner. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID pandemic has triggered a digital revolution globally and has shaped and configured and reconfigured Jamaica's business landscape to create new business opportunities that are quickly grasped by our entrepreneurs. And we have been saying this all along. And our chairman is here, and he would have seen it in some of the research. We are, in fact, recovering because we believe that this is an important time not to hide and shrug from our responsibility, but to see it as an opportunity to innovate and to grow out of this. So as an entrepreneurs, you are nimble and can easily adapt to the dynamics of business environment in order to take advantages of the opportunity in this fast changing world. I am very confident that our experiences have shaped your thinking about how to meet new business challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, the government is committed to the growth and development of MSMEs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dunn. If I were to choose one word to describe your address, it would be authentic. And so we are indeed in good company ourselves. A minister who is an entrepreneur with a story, a powerful story. We should feature you on our entrepreneur's journey. One of these days, I hope you'll find the time to engage us. We have we have an online event called the Entrepreneur's Journey, and we choose a successful entrepreneur that our audience can relate to, who has a story that they can learn from. And you just pretty much enlisted yourself in that. It would be awesome. And so early in the new year, we'll be knocking on your door for you to share this story with our entrepreneurs. Thank you so much again, sir. Ms. Vieira always tells us in 2020 it's time to move from panic and back to passion. And your address pretty much echoed those sentiments. And we're moving on to Mr. Joe Cohen, who is Chief Revenue Officer, CIAL Dun Bradstreet, who should be joining us online from overseas. Mr. Cohen, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Nice to see you all today, and thank you very much to Dr. Lawrence and to the Minister. Minister Dunn, I've had the pleasure over the past couple of days of getting to learn a bit about you as well. And I have to tell you, we are as well in good company to share the name. So thank you very much for that. And you said something there at the end, which is something that we've been talking about with our team and our customers since March, since the onset of this crisis, which is in times of crisis, it is not a time to hide, but a time to face the realities and to navigate the realities of the time that we're in. So I could not agree with that more, and I'll address a bit of that now. I just want to first kick off with a thank you and a congratulations to the JBDC. We've been involved in quite a few economic development conversations over the past couple of years, and the level of sincerity that the JBDC has put into this engagement from the onset is both inspiring and appreciative to understand that there are organizations such as yourselves that are supporting the economy and supporting companies across the Caribbean and of course in Jamaica, to really maximize their opportunity and maximize their potential. So thank you guys and congratulations. And for the business leaders and owners on this call, sometimes we get bogged down by our own daily schedules. I urge you to make the time for JBDC's initiatives. They are sincerely looking to support you on your growth. So again, thank you and congratulations. Now, as mentioned, this was a challenging year for all, but I don't want to focus on that challenge. Rather, I want to focus on the subject of today's session, which is growth, partnerships for growth. Now, how do you position yourself for growth? We need to ask ourselves key fundamental questions that perhaps we haven't asked ourselves as business owners and leaders in years. First, fundamental questions such as, can my customers pay me? Can I trust my suppliers to deliver to me? Do I have enough of a diversified customer base or supply portfolio? Then we get into growth questions such as, am I export ready as an organization or as a company? Do I know what it means to be export ready? And then a key question is, what do other companies know about me? And what do I know about other companies that I work with? And what you'll see there, a trend in the appropriate answers to those questions boil down to credibility. The credibility of your organization and the credibility of the organizations that you choose to work with. Those are critical elements of growth. And not simply credibility as an opinion, but credibility that is backed by data. Decisions without data are simply opinions, right? And we see this happen in the market shift today. For example, we see this in the recently signed over the summer, the new NAFTA agreement, which is called USMCA with the US, Canada, and Mexico, where now a pillar of that agreement is supplier verification for any import or export into the US or into those other markets. As a matter of fact, they use Dun & Bradstreet data to validate the suppliers that come in. Customs and Border Control actually require a DUNS number when you're coming into supplying your goods because they insist on knowing who is bringing those goods into the country and as well, obviously, who's exporting those goods. We see this, for example, in the partnership that we recently signed with the Brazilian government, who for the first time in their existence opened up government RFPs to international suppliers with the goal of being more internationally competitive and globally competitive. And when they decided to make that shift, they initially understood that they needed to know who they are working with and who are those companies that are coming to them. But they needed to have that see-through to know who those companies are. Now, we've had a fascinating few months here at CIAL Dun & Bradstreet, working with businesses across Latin America and the Caribbean. We manage roughly a database of 40 million businesses strong throughout the region. And we've seen both sides of the spectrum. We've seen mature organizations who externally look very strong, looks like they've answered all the questions that I mentioned above, but unfortunately did not actually invest the time and resources to put those things in place of making sure they're clear who their customers are, validating their supply chain, diversifying their supply chain. And we've seen them, unfortunately, have a very difficult time during the economic impact due to COVID. But we've also seen the other side of the spectrum, which is some smaller, medium-sized organizations who took the time to understand who they are working with, took the time to understand where they want to and need to be prospecting, took the time to ensure their credibility so that when there was a market shift that we see that's happening right now, they were in a position to take advantage of that and to maximize that opportunity. And that's exactly what we're here to discuss today, which is how do you take advantage of opportunity during challenging times? And that's exactly what this agreement with the JBDC is coming to do. It's coming to support organizations and companies in Jamaica and the Caribbean, enabling you to build credibility and visibility on both a local and a global scale. It will ensure and enable you to see the credibility with the companies that you're working with. And once, as an organization, you feel you are building that credibility, you feel you understand your supply and your customer base, also have access to a database of 400 million businesses globally, the world's largest commercial database, to be able to prospect strategically and understand where you have opportunity to uncover. As I close, I just want to re-emphasize the questions that we started with. And I urge you to go through that exercise to ask yourself the questions. Ask yourselves, can your customers pay? Ask yourself if you're export ready. And I believe that as you answer those questions, you will likely surprise yourself, and that within those answers, you will find opportunities. Because in this market shift, as Minister Dunn said, this is where we find those opportunities, where he opened up a drive-through pharmacy years ago in Jamaica to take advantage of challenging times. But it's within those challenges that we find new opportunities, and that's exactly what is required for growth. We look forward to partnering with all of you on your path to prosperity. And of course, Kevin Hewitt, who's here on the stage with us today, is happy to support you with any of your needs locally in the Caribbean, or of course, globally, for those of you who are looking to export and maximize your opportunity in the global market. Thank you again to Dr. Lawrence, Minister Dunn, and to the JBDC. Looking forward to partnering with you for a very long time for a successful relationship. Thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Reginald Nugent is Director at the UCC Business Development and Consulting Institute, and he is going to bring us remarks on behalf of that partner this morning. Mr. Nugent.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Well, it's quite a delightful feeling to be back at the IRC.
Is it on?
Seeing some old friends from JBDC and also the ministry and Dr. Lawrence. And I'd like to begin by recognizing the following persons. I'd like to recognize Ms. Suzette Campbell, the Corporate Communications Manager of JBDC/MC. Dr. William Lawrence, Chairman of the Board of JBDC. Dr. the Honorable Norman Dunn, Minister of State, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Mr. Joe Cohen, Chief Revenue Officer, CIAL Dun Bradstreet. And I'd also like to recognize Mr. Kevin Hewitt, who is the Caribbean Business Consultant. The Caribbean Business Consultant for CIAL Dun Bradstreet. And Mr. Keith Locke, Chief Executive Officer, Spectrum Capital Partners Limited. UCC is indeed, ladies and gentlemen, very delighted to participate in this official signing agreement ceremony, which marks the inauguration of its partnership with the JBDC, a partnership that seeks to further the growth and development of the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Through this partnership, UCC Small Business Development Center becomes a member of the National SBDC Network, which is an initiative that's led by JBDC. As part of UCC Business Development and Consulting Institute, UCC SBDC seeks to become a key player in supporting the growth and development of entrepreneurs and existing businesses, thereby contributing to implementation of Jamaica's National Economic Growth Agenda. An agency of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, JBDC is a principal business development organization of the government of Jamaica, with responsibility for implementing strategies to fulfill the mandate of increasing access by MSMEs to business development and support services. The rollout of the National SBDC network reflects the commitment of the government to adopting and implementing the USA Small Business Development Center model, which is administered by the U.S. Small Business Administration. The objective is really to improve access to business development services by MSMEs by strengthening the capacity of business support organizations in delivering business development services. The growth and development of the MSME sector occupies a central place in the government of Jamaica's strategy to drive growth of GDP and employment. The MSMEs account for the largest segment of the private sector, estimated to be roughly 97%, and accounts for approximately 43% of total GDP, which puts MSME in a position to play a major role in the country's economic growth. MSME growth and development is critical to the creation of employment and GDP growth, thus driving the economic growth agenda. So by improving access to business and services, we will no doubt assist MSMEs in securing financing and mobilizing key resources that are required to support their business ventures. We believe that this will contribute greatly to unlocking the potential energies of the MSME sector. UCC SBDC is dedicated to helping new entrepreneurs bring innovation to market and to assist firms in the sector to capitalize on business opportunities. By investing time and resources in the delivery of business development services to entrepreneurs, as well as emerging and mature businesses, UCC SBDC will help propel the launch of new ventures and grow existing businesses. The economic impact of this effort will be expectedly welcomed by all the stakeholders who are vested in the future prospects of the Jamaican economy. I should mention that UCC is also home to some 5,000 students who will have access to the services that are offered by its SBDC. We expect that many of our students will also take advantage of these services as they seek to advance new startup ventures themselves. The students, as well as faculty members, will also benefit from taking advantage of opportunities to participate in delivering services to our business clients. We are very excited to be able to have our immediate student and faculty members as a key resource. This can only contribute towards strengthening our capacity as a business development organization and foster inclusiveness. We are also very mindful of the impact of COVID-19 on the current business environment and on families across Jamaica, and would like to encourage those who have lost their jobs or are contemplating starting a new business to seek out the services offered by UCC SBDC. It is without a doubt that becoming a member of the family of the National SBDC network through its SBDC a critical step for UCC as it seeks to meet the needs of its community stakeholders that goes beyond its immediate academic community. In this regard, UCC SBDC is looking forward to the opportunity to make its mark in this vital area of changing lives through creating economic impact and furthering the goal of national economic development. It is therefore with great pleasure that I participate in this morning's official signing ceremony and bring these remarks. I look forward to a successful and winning partnership. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nugent. And so now we're ready to ink the deals. And we are going to do this in two segments. We are going to begin with CIAL Dun Bradstreet, and that agreement will be signed by CEO Ms. Valerie Vieira and the representative from CIAL Dun Bradstreet, Mr. Kevin Hewitt, Caribbean business consultant. So we are doing this COVID style, and so we're not using our traditional trestle tables. Each signatory gets his or her own table today, and we are using bistros. So the team will bring forward two tables at this time, one for Miss V and one for Kevin, as well as the folders with the contracts and their pens. Once they have signed, I will invite the minister and the chairman to join them, and as well as Mr. Davis for a photo op. And then we will switch to SBDC and UCC. Mr. Photographer, am I in the shot? Do I need to? Is it okay? All right. All right, so now both of you may shake on it for the cameras. All right, so Minister Don, Dr. Lawrence, Mr. Davis, could you just join them for a photo right here? Just set it up. Is it okay? All right. Are the tables okay there? Okay. All right, could I get one with just the Minister, Kevin, and Miss Vieira? One shot with just these three. Right. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Dr. Dunn. And so now I'm going to invite to join us here Mr. Keith Locke, Chief Executive Officer, Spectrum Capital Partners Limited, UCC Group of Companies, who will sign on behalf of UCC, and we will need a witness for this one, and that person is our own Dion Palmer, who is the SBDC Network Manager. So I need a third table for her, please. No, put his table behind him. Yes. So once you have signed, you can just pass them along so that Dion may do her bit. All right, so first photo is Miss Vieira and Mr. Locke. Then, right? Then Dion. Dion joined the shot with both of them. Then Dr. Dunn, Dr. Lawrence, Mr. Davis. One big group shot. Stay in there, Dion. Stay. Hold on. Melissa. All right, so we all shake on it now. Good to go. All right, Dr. Lawrence, Mr. Locke, Miss Vieira. Not Dr. Lawrence, sorry, Dr. Dunn. Dr. Dunn. Okay. When they- Thank you, Dr. Don. Mr. Nugent and Dion, just join Mr. Luck and Miss V one more time. Mr. Nugent. You can just give me back the mic. The one you had, the one you gave Miss V. Is it on? All right. All right. Thank you so much. All right. And so we are now officially at the end. And I'll put Miss V on the spot a little bit. Miss V, just close for us. Here's your mic.
Of course, I'm always on the spot, ladies. I really want to say how important today is for us as we sign these two important partnerships. And we're expanding the SBDC network, which we are so pleased with because each unit, each center has its own portfolio responsibilities. I know Reggie, who knows from you know when, has clear understanding as to what JBDC is about and where we are supposed to be going. I mean, no, I'm not listening to me, but anyway, he's my minister talking. Mr. Reggie, I'm saying that you know exactly how JBDC works and how focused we are. And I know that you're going to give the center all the support and the guidance it needs to achieve the objective. As for Dun Bradstreet, I must confess that Kevin and me, we have been telephone partners for some time, speaking all hours of the evening, late evening, etc. Just that your boss know you work 24/7. And we meet in person for the first time this morning. And I'm so pleased to make that connection. And we have great hopes for that relationship for our entrepreneurs, our clients, because we never prepare the clients for Jamaica. We prepare them for the global marketplace. And therefore, this connection, excuse me, all the people chatting. I'm also a school teacher at JBDC. Yes, we are looking for great things to happen out of the relationship. We're starting our first cohort of participants from our Export Max program, which of course is another great collaboration between ourselves and JAMPRO and JMEAA. So you see, it's John Up Jamaica. We have the private sector, we have our sister agencies, and of course we have our ministry and our government. You'd have heard another side of Minister this morning. I was listening to the military connection and realized that I might have to be more careful when I give him problems. But Minister, I do a little karate, so we can work it out. Work it out. But it's also great to have a minister who understands what we are supposed to be doing, having personally experienced it. And I think that we're in for some great times working with Minister Dunn. Already he has been giving us sterling support, and we look forward to getting even further along the road with his guidance, with his insights, and most important, with his experience. So, Minister, we're really excited. I'm personally very excited at the prospect that we'll be speaking the same language. No need for translation. Our chairman, Bill. Well, Bill is a relationship that goes far, far back. Chairman is just the top of the cake. We would say the top of the pie, right, Bill? So we built the pie, and now the meringue is that he's our chairman. And he's more than that. He's really a great resource person for us. Again, experience, insights, and real deep thought. And I must say, we are really honored to have a chairman and a board so far that really complements, supports, and guides the work that we do. It's always fabulous when you have a board that you can depend on as a resource group. And we know we are fortunate to have such a person leading us, and for the other board members that we currently have working as part of the big JBDC team. So thanks to everybody. Joe, you came to us in the new normal from foreign. No, you didn't have to be in quarantine, which is good. So we could have you with us this morning. And we look forward to working with you and Kevin to getting our program really moving quickly on track and achieving the success that we need at this time. And as our chairperson and colleague, head of communication said, we're moving from panic to passion. That's our motto at JBDC, and pivoting is just part of that process. We are constantly pivoting to reach the new heights, and we continue to do that because we have all the persons here listening to us, participating, blowing that wind behind our sail to keep us moving forward. So thank you all for sharing with us this morning, and the excitement continues, right, Chairperson? At JBDC, we don't do dull. We always pivot on excitement. So once you're on our team, look forward to an exciting journey, full of movements in the right direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Vieira. And that brings us to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, it was my pleasure to host this event this morning and to witness these partnerships being signed. We look forward to a mutually beneficial relationship with these two entities and the rest who will be knocking soon when they see what's happening at JBDC. Global Entrepreneurship Week continues right after this with JBDC in concert, which is going to look at the mapping of the cultural and creative industries in Jamaica. We're going to be looking at some preliminary findings along with some creatives who are no strangers to the sectors in Jamaica. And then tomorrow we go into the JBDC Virtual Gift and Craft Biz Zone, where we will look at value chains. That's a webinar. In the afternoon, we bring a new event to GEW. Every year we try to bring something new. It's the Brand Jamaica Design Lab, and that's a panel discussion with some experts in gift and craft under the theme Driving Innovations in Gift and Craft. On Friday, we end with a bang. It's the Entrepreneur's Journey, featuring the 4 finalists in the JBDC Boss Man and Boss Lady of the Year Awards. We will interview those 4 finalists, 2 females, 2 males, all of whom will be awarded Boss Lady of the Year and runner-up, and Boss Man of the Year and runner-up. They are our own clients that we have observed throughout 2020, and they will be awarded at approximately 1 o'clock tomorrow, following the Entrepreneur's Journey, not tomorrow, Friday, which begins at 12. So ensure you log on and register for everything and stay with us, all right? The minister's team is asking for a group shot with everybody. So one more time. Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.